Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Valentine if you are new here, and today we're going to talk about a little mini witchy haul. This haul pertains to my last video. If you guys haven't seen my last video, it will be linked down below, or if I can figure out how to link it up, I will. But my last video was all about implementing my mentor's daily practice into my life and what she had me doing during our mentorship and how I kind of let that slip to the wayside. So now I am diving headfirst, doing it for 30 days, trying to build a habit. I bought some things to help me along that journey. Also, just like fun stuff. I figured it'd just be like a simple, fun, cozy little video that you and I can, I don't know, just like chat about. I decided to splurge and get some new tarot decks and oracle decks for not only this challenge, but also for client work. I don't think I mentioned this in my last video, but the deck that I love, the Tarot of Vampyres deck by Ian Daniels, it is no longer in print. It is no longer in print. And it just happened like in September. And apparently people had been preparing for this to go out of print. I was not prepared. I did not have a backup deck. The attachment that I had with this deck only grew exponentially during my mentorship with Racine. This is the deck that we used together to explore my path. And because of that, I think this deck transitioned to a very personal, private deck. I've put this deck on a pedestal. I have a lot of tarot decks that I don't really use. I have a Rider-Waite-Smith that I use every once in a while. I rely heavily on this deck. So I'm happy to have a backup now. I got the Tarot Vampyres by Ian Daniel, new, still wrapped and shiny. So I figured we could unbox it today and we could kind of compare the Spanish edition with the English edition. Also, on a personal note, my mom, as you guys know, she recently passed, and while she was on her deathbed, we were talking about like regrets. I was trying to walk her through them as a death midwife and just as her daughter, you know. People tend to get stuck or attached to certain things. Really trying to tackle it in a way where she would feel more at ease with her absence. So one of the things that she mentioned she regretted apparently is that she did not teach me to speak fluent Spanish. My specific family, I probably speak the least amount of Spanish. Even my very, very Caucasian father speaks quite a bit of Spanish. And even my husband likes to pick on me and say that he speaks more Spanish than I do, which I don't think that's real. I teach him Spanish all the time, but he likes to pretend. He and my mom had this thing where he would constantly try to learn new phrases from her all the time. So while my mom is telling me this, like that this is one of her regrets, I'm sitting there looking at her like, woman, like, do you realize that you are literally on your deathbed basically saying your dying wish? Like, I'm the type of person who's going to remember that for the rest of my life and be like, I need to learn another language to honor my mother's memory. Very much someone who will focus on that. She just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And she was like, you are the type of person. She was like, I'm sorry, Mia, that's not what I meant. You know? And I'm like, sure, Mom, sure. So a part of me thinks that in a weird way, she's probably thinking this is hilarious. I will be forced to learn the cards in Spanish. In a way, it's hilarious, but also it's very fitting. So let's go ahead and dive deeper into the Tarot Vampyres by Ian Daniels, which is unfortunately out of print. If you guys like it, I wish you all the luck that you are able to find this deck. Okay, so this is my original Tarot Vampyres. This is the English version of the Tarot of Vampyres, Spanish edition. Very excited. A part of me was like, should I not open this? Should I keep it in its box? But no, I wanted to see and compare the differences. The guidebook is obviously going to be in Spanish, but oh wow. Oh, look, their guidebook has the images in it. The English edition does not have the little accompanied pictures. Is that only for the Major? No, that's for the minors as well. It's really cool. This is the original cover art, and it says Phantasmagoria. Mine is very used, very loved. I've tried really hard to take good care of it. You know, it's got some tears and broken binding, but I'm trying. And then this is the Lovers card in the deck. So height, much smaller. This one feels like old school, like books from the 90s, you know what I mean? This feels a little bit more modern, sturdier, a little bit more plasticky, whereas this feels more like paper. Here are the cards. Wow, okay. Wow, yeah, okay, so off the bat, the size difference is kind of crazy. Like, look at, wow, can you see that? That is a big size difference. That larger imagery is nice, but the cardstock, these aren't great by any means, but this feels like I could just tear that. Like I could accidentally tear it. So yeah, wow, the imagery is so much bigger. Look at that High Priestess. That is really nice. I don't like the way this feels. This almost feels like there's a grainy on the back of that on the back of the card. Some of them have that feel, not all of them though. Maybe with time that feeling will go away. Ugh. Such beautiful cards. Oh, I didn't even look at the Spanish. Yeah, I mean, I know enough Spanish where I can figure that out. I feel like these would probably shuffle just fine. I don't like doing the bridge shuffle because it hurts my hand these days. So I usually do overhand shuffle like this after a couple of bridge. These are definitely larger. I have very large hands. Typically like to do side like this. All right, well that is the Spanish Tarot of Vampires. Oh, even if you look at the colors, this one has like a pinkier. There's definitely like a wash of pink across this whole one. Let me find the same cards. Yeah, even on this one, you can see there's like a pinkier hue. Talking about like this one almost has like a greeny blue. This has like a purpley pink. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, so that is the two decks at a glance. The Spanish version and then the English version. I think with use, that grainy feeling might go away with this deck. Maybe there's something I can put on it, like a powder or something to try to negate that feeling. I'm a very tactile person. Certain fabrics bother me. That grainy one is gonna drive me nuts. So I've got to figure out a way to get rid of that. But other than that, I thought it was perfectly fine. I think it is not as good quality when it comes to cardstock, but I do kind of like the pinky wash. I decided to invest in an independent deck that has been drawing my eye for a while, and it wasn't until I spoke with my really, really great friend Inkfall that I realized why I'm so drawn to this deck, and that is going to be the Silver Acorn Tarot. The Silver Acorn Tarot is an independently made deck by Stephanie Buscema. This was about $80. I think it came out to $88 including shipping. It comes with a very, very nice box. It has this magnetic little clasp right here. On the inside, it says, "May this deck bring you insight, knowledge, and joy on your tarot journey." Mine came with this very cute little bat sticker. There you go. Silver Acorn Guidebook by Madame Pamita, art by Stephanie Buscema, and it's very cute. It's a very, very good quality. It has colored pictures on the inside. They're not huge, but they're there. I don't think it has them of the minors. It doesn't have them of the minors. It has only the colored images of the majors. And then the back It talks about caring for your deck, different tarot spreads that you can do, the standard Celtic cross, about Madame Pamita, and about Stephanie. This little pentacle back here. I have already used this deck. Here's the backs of the deck, which I find super cute. I know some people like it to where no matter if it's upside down or right side up, you can't tell. I am one of those people, but it really doesn't bother me with this deck. The cardstock, I love this cardstock. It's like that linen finish. It is very slippery though. So I've noticed that if I have this down on like a not standard surface, even sometimes with the surface, these cards will go flying, like absolutely flying. And I know some people can't stand that. Some people don't use the Pagan Otherworlds tarot deck because it's so slippery. I don't see this deck being used often, so I wonder if that is why, or maybe it's not as well known as I think it would be. But I think this deck is just so freaking cute. I love the art. I love the little characters. I think it's a smartly crafted Rider-Waite-Smith clone. Look at this. The magician is so cute. Oh, look at this moon card. I love this moon card. And then for some of my favorite cards that I think were just smartly done, this Hanged Man I think is genius. Using a jack-o'-lantern to show illumination and shift of perspective within the Hanged Man with the candle illuminating outwards from his crown. I think it's just so well done. This 10 of Cups I think is also a very smart choice. I am a big fan of this deck. I've used it already and I can tell you right now, this deck speaks very clearly to me. My Tarot of Vampyres really speaks to me about my spirituality, and every time I use this deck, I have a conversation with my deities. With this deck, however, the Silver Acorn Tarot, it definitely speaks to me in a very practical way. It'll tell me like, hey Valentine, you need to stop being so mean to yourself. Or, hey Valentine, you need to sleep more. Like, it definitely speaks to me of like everyday things that I can do in my physical life, which I think would be really great for client readings. Just a fair warning though, I will say that it was a little cutthroat. So while they are cute, they are they're a little feisty. I feel like you can see that in this High Priestess. Like, she may be cute, but she'll tell you what the fuck you're doing wrong. Really, really enjoyed using this deck. Last, but definitely not least, the most expensive deck on this list, 10th Anniversary Tyldwick Tarot. Now, the Tyldwick, I honestly haven't seen that many people talk about this deck. I don't even remember how I found this. I randomly stumbled upon this and I have become obsessed. I've become so obsessed. And I'm just like really, really, really feeling haunted manor, haunted house, haunted gardens, like haunted estate kind of vibes. And to me, the Tyldwick does a great job encapsulating this, like, what happened to the people that lived here. It's an interesting approach to look at rooms in a house and associate them to your inner subconscious. What feelings does the family room evoke for you? Or the attic, right? There's no people in this deck at all. Well, there's like suggestions of almost like a phantom in a mirror, which I love it. I love it. And we'll go deeper in. I can't wait to unbox this. I've been doing so good, you guys. I've been holding off going through this deck for this video for a very long time. All right, everybody, it's voiceover Valentine because Mercury retrograde has hit me super hard, and this is an amalgamation of like 6 recordings. The Tyldwick Tarot. The Tyldwick Tarot was created by a man named Neil Lovell. Neil has since passed, and when he passed away, his brother got a bunch of emails of people who were absolutely obsessed with his Tyldwick Tarot first edition, and he ended up being so touched by these emails of people who claimed Neil impacted their lives substantially with this deck, he decided to take over the business and he released a second edition. And then now this is the 10th anniversary edition that he released last year. There were still a couple of copies available online. So my favorite thing about this deck is that there's no people. There's hints of people, like phantoms almost, within mirrors, which I absolutely love. Again, the exploration of archetypal energy within the home, it really speaks to me right now. The Magician as a puppet master, absolutely love that. The Emperor as a study, I mean, genius. So the only thing I wish you would have done differently is completely personal preference, and that's within the court cards. Neil does an excellent job showing what the page, knight, queen, and king govern elementally. So the pages are earth, knights are typically air, queens are water, kings are fire. So again, personal preference, Neil switches the knight and the king and reverses their elemental associations that I'm used to. So here's the page which governs earth, which is shown in the mausoleum. So all the pages have mausoleums. Then the knight is represented by the fireplace, the queen is represented by the fountains, and the kings are represented by the window. So here I would have switched them. I would have had the king as the fireplace and the knight as a window. So here you can see within the court cards are those phantom mirrors where you can see those reflections of maybe people who once lived in this house, or maybe it's an interpretation of your shadow that may need to be explored at this time. So the card stock I feel is pretty good. It feels a little thick. It feels a little too thick. Like I want some bend in my card. It feels very stiff, cardboardy almost. So that's the Tyldwick Tarot. I'm really excited to dive into this. I feel like it's a very unique approach to the tarot. We're going to do some unboxings of 2 packages that I got from Cocorrina. It is a one-woman ran designer shop. She creates custom tarot. She has a rune deck. She has planners. The planners is what I get really excited about. Cocorrina was very important to my mom. My mom loved this company. She was a huge fan of their rune deck. It's a little bittersweet for me. So I had some things that I always wanted from Cocorrina to go ahead and get some of these things almost as a way of carrying her with me throughout the coming new year. So let's go ahead and explore the Grimoire and the day planner together. So already this packaging is absolutely stunning. Cocorrina knows how to create almost a medieval, renaissance-y, alchemical looking design along with these modern astrological aspects. I just really enjoy her eye. Sometimes it's a little too designer-y feeling for me. Sometimes I feel like it's spot on and evokes this witchiness that I crave. Now this is a silk bandana that came with the pre-order of the planners. I don't know if it's still available, but I do know that they sell it separately. It has the same design as the wrapping paper with the astrological symbols, and it's something that my mom loved and wanted, so I'll probably put it on her altar for her. Now here we have an example of one of her rune cards. This is, I believe, her second edition. One of the editions my mom has, it's not this one with the gold backing, and then she recently did a third edition. I believe it's the third, it might be a fourth, and it has a gold faux leather on the backing that is absolutely stunning. The rune that I got is basically the rune of destruction. It's essentially the Tower card, so yay! All of these little extras are so cute. I feel like the Eight of Cups tarot card was a little too designery for me. This sticker of the deer is gorgeous. I'm someone who will use that sticker. I will definitely place it in one of my grimoires. And then look at this business card. I mean, is this not the most gorgeous business card you've ever seen? It definitely has that alchemical vibe to it. And now for the planner. The planner has a faux leather on top that is absolutely buttery soft. The gold and gilded edges and designs and delicate little additions here and there, especially along the spine, make it feel extremely luxurious. Those edges of the clamps on the edges are actual hard metal. I'm such a visual person as well that seeing this on my shelves, I know it's going to make me want to work with this book. I'm going to feel inclined to pick it up and work with it. It looks like there's a little cameo here for you to put your name or initials or a sigil. And then here it shows the goddess that it's named for, Era. Er is the name of the goddess, Era is the name of the book. And here the contents show the energies for each month. With the goddess Er being the governess of this book, it already implies that the creator had an intention of a healing journey within this next year, because the goddess Er is the Norse goddess of healing and protection. Now, here is last year's planner that I bought with my mom, and last year's planner was dedicated to the goddess Astrea, a Greek goddess known as the Star Maiden, which is why there's a lot of astrological elements to that planner. Now here I'm just showing them side by side to show that every planner Cocorrina makes is of the same size. So you can literally collect them, put them on your bookshelves, and they'll look amazing. It just emphasizes the fact that Cocorrina was created by a designer. Now for a simple walkthrough, as we saw that cameo page, a page on the dedication to the goddess, and then here is your weekly trackers, and then each month is governed by a tree. It looks like January is about slowness and transitions, governed by the elder. Then it talks about the celestial events that will be happening for each month along with the moon transitions. It talks about the esoteric symbolism of the elder tree and how to use it and work with it, along with some journal prompts. Here's the standard monthly overview, and then it goes into day by day. What I liked about the last planner, and I was happy to see included in this one, is that at the end of the month, there's also more journal prompts, including a section for you to provide reflection on the previous month. I am extremely in love with this planner. I cannot wait to dive into it. Little things like this is what really makes me miss my mom. I know she would have loved diving into this with me. So let me know what you guys think about this planner and if it's something you might be interested in getting. The next thing I purchased from Cocorrina is a grimoire. I thought it was cute that they supplied a little pre-imprinted wax stamp with a sticker on the back so that I could use it. I thought that was a cute touch. I also love that the planners are based off of their grimoire. So it has the exact same dimensions of the planner, which provides this cohesion and uniformity, but in a academia, like a dark academia, esoteric occult aesthetic that I absolutely live for. According to the website, the cover design is inspired by the 16th century and it features magical sigils of good luck. The inscription reads Transit Umbra Lux Permanent in Latin, which means shadow passes, light remains, and an alchemical vessel of life is featured on the cover. There are 2 grimoires available on the Cocorrina website. This one is the Noble Grimoire, which I got for, I believe it was on sale for €30. I think it's typically like 45. And then there is the Regal edition, which is a much larger, more luxurious grimoire. That one will run you almost €300. So here I'm showing that the planners alongside the grimoire match perfectly. All right, you guys, that's it that I got from Cocorrina, the planner and the grimoire. Thank you guys for tuning in and let me know what you think. In conjunction with the 30-day challenge that I'm doing, if you've watched the video, you will know that not only am I doing daily draws, I am also journaling. The one that I used for Racine's mentorship was the same size as this. And this allowed me to print out some certain cards. Sometimes the whole reading I would print out, sometimes just like a couple of cards in a reading I would print out. Then I would paste it in here and then I would elaborate and go more in depth, decorating the edges and stuff. I really let my creativity shine in these journals. Even Racine kind of was like, whoa. I found that like excited me. That helped me want to do more journaling. I am journaling my daily draws. I'm journaling my meditations. I am journaling just thoughts and introspection along my craft, along my path. Along that way, I realized that some of the deities and spirits that I work with kind of need their own journals. This could just be me being like, you know, a Virgo. They're almost going to be a form of like mini grimoires or like mini book of shadows or book of mirrors on my relationship with these deities. And then the other ones are just going to be for my daily draws or like bigger spreads or something. All right, everybody, that is it for my witchy haul. Let me know which one were your favorites, or if you have any of these tarot decks or any of these journals. I genuinely would like to know if you're participating in the challenge with me. I am counting down the days to Yule. It is coming so quickly, and hopefully I will have a Yule video up for you guys very soon. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful holiday season. I hope to see you soon.